I'm going to show you how to make a tassel for your bell pulls, wall hangings and bunting. This is a little bit of a thread buster, so if you've got old threads that break that you can't use in your embroidery machine anymore, they're ideal for this. You're going to need some beads. I've got 5mm eyed beads, and these are smaller, but I can pass a needle through them. Some scissors, a needle, some strong cotton thread, some ribbon, a glass, and that's just to put my bobbin in to stop it jumping all over the place. I'm going to be using some water, and this is an old lid off of a storage box. I think the box got broken, so I cut a hole in the lid with a craft knife, and that's what I use to make my tassels. And I've got a craft knife as well. So you're going to start off by putting your thread in a glass. Take whatever you're using to wind your thread. If you can cut a hole in the middle of whatever you're using, it will help you greatly. And then on the back here, I'm just going to stick that end down with a bit of tape, and I'm just using masking tape, nothing special. And then let me put it around the right way so that I can wind it without it coming off. It might help. And then we're just going to wrap around here, and you want to wrap about 100 times in order for it to be nice, your tassel to be nice and full. I'm just going to snip off now and set that aside. I'm just going to pull these together and find my loose end so that it doesn't all come unravelled. Okay. Take your strong cotton thread and dip it in water. And we're dipping it in water so that it holds your threads together, because it's only going to be temporary until we've bound it. And then just wrap this around the centre of your threads. Do a double wrap knot, so wrap it as if you were tying your shoelaces, but wrap it round twice. And then tighten it as much as you can. Then take your craft knife and cut the ends of the threads, one end. The second end's really easy because you can use your scissors. Okay. So next we're going to bind these. So I'm just separating the threads that I want bound from the cotton. Once more, you're going to take your thread. Now there's no knots in this, so what you're going to do is take a length and just offer it up to your tassel, and then you're going to wrap. I'm going to cut these ends off a little bit just so they don't get in my way. I'm just going to wrap and wrap and wrap. I'm going to trim the end off of this. And now I'm going to thread my needle. And we're going to pass it down through the centre of the head of the tassel, if you like, through the middle and out the other side. Just make sure that I don't catch these tails in the way. Of course, it's far easier doing this on your lap in front of the TV than it is doing it underneath the camera. But we'll get there in the end. Okay, so now you're going to pull that right the way down and through the centre. And that is it. There's no knots or anything like that to tie with this. So I'm just going to cut that end off. And we'll give it a good haircut in a minute. Okay. So next we're going to thread our ribbon through the centre. So take the needle, cut your ribbon to a point. I'm using 1/4 inch ribbon here. Oops. And you're going to thread it through the centre and out the other side. And you're just going to pull one end through. Like that. And making sure that the pretty side, nice shiny side, is facing down, because your ribbon's going to come up like that. You can adjust it before you take your cotton off. So once you've done that, you can then release the cotton because it's done its job. Just a little bit of gentle persuasion. And you can pull that out. Okay. So now you're going to thread your needle, this time with your ribbon. I find it easier to have fresh cut tails. And I can't see a thing that I'm doing either that doesn't help. Yes, I've got it that time. Okay. So try and get your ribbons nicely managed. Like that. And then you're going to take your beads, and I'm going to put a large one on first. and see what it's like for size, and I should be able to slip that inside like that. Now you can stick it inside. You can use a glue like E6000, which is industrial strength jewellery glue. It works really well. I haven't got any at the moment, so I'm not going to bother too much. That's not going to fall off, it's a snug fit anyway. And I'm going to put one more on. Let's have a green one. And then I'm going to use a small-eyed one, and that's going to keep them all on the string. Let's have orange this time. No, let's have yellow. Now this is you need to wiggle this and wiggle, and it's probably easier with pliers, to be honest. It depends on the size of your beads and whether they're quite a good uniform size all the way down. Sometimes you get them on, you can get one side through but you can't get the other, so I just keep trying until they go. But generally they go. There we are, it's going. Wiggle, 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 and just pull it down on. So we're now going to trim the ends, give it a good haircut. Try and get all your threads all the same length. And sharp scissors are better than blunt for this. You might have to do it a couple of times just to make sure. And then trim your tails down a little bit. And there's your tassel all ready to go and to be stitched into your hoop. I've got a little recycling tip for you. If you've got an empty spool, which I'm sure many of us have, and you've glued your beads, thread the ends of your ribbon through the centre of the spool, and this is assuming that your beads won't fall right the way through, of course. Bring the tails out, take an elastic band, wrap it round the base, and then let that dry overnight, and that way it will hold your beads all nice in place and they're less likely to move while they're drying. And I would just leave that overnight. I hope you enjoyed this how-to. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as they're added. Do pop along to Creative Kiwi's Facebook group. There's lots of ideas, help and inspiration there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me.